April 19th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Darn rootin' tootin'.
I sure do love NASCAR.
Court is now in session. All rise. Wait, no defendant lobby. Shit.
Court is back in session for the trial of Damien Tenma.
I am Apollo Justice, team leader. It's ready, Your Honor.
Are you sure?
Athena Sykes, assistant defender, is ready too, Your Honor. Je suis prête.
As chipper as ever, I see, and in French no less, and the prosecution? Very well then. By the way, I asked Detective Fulbright to provide sturdier shackles today. There will be no more of your funny business this time, Prosecutor Blackwell.
I have a PhD in bullets.
Appropriate accolade, please.
And nows.
Now, your opening statement, if you would. I believe it's standard procedure for the prosecution to handle it.
Looks like the judge is really bringing it today.
He probably realized how Blackwell played him. That's one of the mean games, if Simon says.
Yeah, His Honor has to fight to defend his honor today.
Your boldness. It's plain to see that you've always dreamed of delivering an epic opening statement.
I have? I don't know if I'd say that.
Why, of course you have. I saw it in your eyes the last time you gave the opening statement. That is the look of one who yearns deeply for the thrill of an epic opening statement. For decades now, you've just been watching opening statements from your bench. They were the crown jewels of the court, the one thing you could not possess.
The crown jewels of the court?
Now, at long last, they are within your grasp. How could you possibly refuse?
Oh, so you don't mind if I do it then?
What?
I'll make a special exception, just this once.
Oh, this is so dumb.
Here we go again.
Yep, more of Blackwell's mind games. And, 1 second. Can I just check if the audio is correct this time?
Well, in that case, I think I might go ahead and make the opening statement myself. In yesterday's session, we learned the shocking truth that the victim, Alderman Rex QB, was the Amazing Ninetails. We also learned that the Amazing Ninetails was a key figure in the yokai craze and anti-merger protests. Sounds like a news report. It was further revealed that upon learning Rex QB's secret identity, Mayor Damien Tenma murdered him.
Jesus Christ, that turned.
The fact that the crime took place in a highly locked room, a tightly locked room even, was also brought to light. And the only people in that tightly locked room were the defendant and victim.
Oh. Judge, your mic's having problems.
Is it?
Oh, it's
might
fine.
Be my internet.
I think that's a Discord one.
It might also be a Discord issue, because you were also having issues.
We should really stop using Discord in court.
We should really just start meeting up in person, but we cannot do that. It's the day of the technological age.
I'm actually still in the prison cell.
Hold it! The prosecution is stalling. Judge, continue.
Should I read this line again?
Yes.
Okay. The defense proposed the existence of a hypothetical third party, but further investigation revealed no proof of a third party who had escaped the room.
Ergo?
We must conclude that the evidence against the defendant is, well, conclusive. Eek! Did I say something wrong?
That was quite astonishing. You've truly outdone yourself this time.
Oh, one more thing to gloat about to my grandchild.
Well, this was not an unexpected turn of events.
Now then, it seems the prosecution has called a new witness to testify.
The inexplicable yokai evidence left at the scene of the crime. Well, does that not demand some sort of explanation?
The feathers and tracks? Weren't those left by the mayor while he was possessed?
That was but an act to protect his daughter.
Oh, yes, of course. I suspected as much.
Wait, did he actually believe the mayor's award-winning performance?
His daughter was the one who planted the yokai evidence. Ergo, the true identity of the yokai in the manor was the manor's maid, Jinxie Tenma.
Objection! Objection! The prosecution is engaging in mere conjecture.
Would you care for some witness testimony then? For I am ready to prove that the little scamp is the one behind the Tenmataro farce.
Witness testimony. I bet he means Filch and that creep LaBelle.
Very well, then. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness?
Why am I not in the vision?
There he is.
There I
gonna be
am,
now.
thank you.
Mr. Filch, you made quite the hasty exit yesterday. See that it doesn't happen again today.
I've been known for my hasty retreat since I was a kid. A bit of a trademark of mine.
Indeed. You managed to give a total of 5 bailiffs the slip.
Like those amateurs could ever nab me. Yipes!
Perhaps we should shackle you by the neck. That would keep you in place.
Yipes! No, please. I'm liable to rip my own head off if I start running.
Your statement. Now.
Yes, sir, Mr. Blackhead, sir.
The blackhead.
He may beat a hasty retreat, but there's no escaping Prosecutor Blackwell.
Yeah, Blackwell doesn't strike me as the give up easy type.
Now then, Mr. Filch, your testimony, please. Specifically, the true nature of the yokai you saw in the manor shortly after the crime.
Wow, it just sounded good as fuck. Witness testimony. The yokai is Jinxie.
Tenmataro's really that little maid gal. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, the Tenmataro I saw was just a little thing about her size. But the little runt had a big old staff. I seen it when she came into the foyer. Betcha stole it from the Forbidden Chamber after stumbling on the crime scene. She was gonna use it to wallop me on account of my fierce reputation. I just knew it.
Okay, I think I've instantly seen something a bit questionable.
Mm-hmm. So, Tenmataro is short in stature. And that's because it was Miss Jinxie Tenma all along.
You betcha. Besides, all the rest in the manor were way taller than her.
Feigning height is but an easy thing. But a big ox like the defendant could never pass for short.
What if the Tenmataro impersonator was walking on their knees?
Well, no knee walking. I seen it myself.
Then perhaps that yokai really was Miss Tenma after all.
All monsters are naught but tricks, either of the mind or the cheap parlor variety.
So you're saying she created an illusion like one of those magical eye things?
Precisely. Human senses are easily deceived. Take the fellow in the cell next to me. Each night he cries and screams about some ghost he thinks he sees. But in truth, it was simply the janitor.
Ho ho ho! Prosecutor Blackwell just gave up the ghost! Literally!
The janitor's deathly complexion and all-white attire are no doubt partially to blame. That and the fact that he constantly mutters about taking vengeance for this or that.
That actually sounds like a real ghost to me.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This is you, Brent.
What did you say about seeing something peculiar? I've been practicing this like 400 times. I never was able to wipe the stench of the cologne off of myself.
Quiet, witness. I need to start my...
Cross-examination. Well?
Okay. Temataro's really mad. Really mad. Really a little made gal. So my instant the thing I instantly noticed was this. No, wait, it's this bit. I'm like, how the hell do you know that?
No, yeah.
Bullshit. Hold it! I suppose you mean to say that Jinxie Timber entered the Forbidden Chamber to get one?
Well, I had never seen a staff like that in the manor. So it had to be the Forbidden Chamber.
Oh really? The stench of LaBelle is thick in the air today.
Jinxie entered the Forbidden Chamber after the incident. Then she took the staff and tried to cover up her actions by pretending to be Tenmataro. I guess that's what Filch is trying to say.
Could Jinxie have entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to?
There is one thing I was wondering about. Why did that yokai have a staff in the first place?
Well, I've got my hunches about that.
Okay. And then that's the same one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need to press anything else. I know we should, probably, for safety. But this, to me, is sketch as shit. I'm gonna do one thing and just let this run.
We need to prove that Jinxie isn't Tenmataro. But I have no idea how we're going to do that.
All we have
All
to
we
do
have to do
is prove that it's impossible for Jinxie to turn into Tenmataro. And that might be easier than you think.
Really?
Now's our chance. Our chance to expose the real Tenmataro. For all to see. Okay, so there was a line that Apollo dropped. Could Jinxie have entered the Forbidden Chamber if she wanted to? No, because of the key. The key wasn't there. So there's absolutely no way she could have.
The key was in her father's belly.
Yeah.
Or at
So-
least throat.
So I'm good, right? I'm good with this.
So
Why don't you find out?
see.
Let's go. Objection! It would seem that Tenmataro was, in fact, not this innocent little girl.
Huh? How do you figure that?
You claim that the Tenmataro you saw had one of those staves in the Forbidden Chamber. But that would be impossible for Miss Tenma to get a hold of one.
Care to elaborate, Mr. Justice?
The mayor swallowed this key shortly after the murder. He wanted to keep the killer out of the Forbidden Chamber.
What's this?
This key was deep in the mayor's stomach when Miss Tenma discovered the crime scene. So you see, it will be impossible for her to get into the Forbidden Chamber. In short, the Tenmataro seen holding that staff could not have been Jinxie Tenma.
Ugh.
Ah!
What? But... Then who does the defense believe was impersonating Tenmataro?
Our Tenmataro impersonator is none other than Mayor Tenma...
Such accusations beg evidence. Aside from his ghastly appearance, can you prove he's the yokai we seek?
Yes, in fact, I can.
Very well. Let's see where the defense is going with this. Mr. Justice, please show us proof as to the true identity of the Tenmataro impersonator.
Can it be that?
It's probably the hand cream that was in there.
Yeah.
but-
It's one or the other, isn't it?
Well, it's not the
That-
hair thing, because he gave it to you himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has to be the hand cream.
Mhm.
Take that! We found this hand cream in the Forbidden Chamber. And we know whoever was Tenmataro took one of the staves out there. In short, I believe whoever this hand cream belongs to is the yokai impersonator we're looking for.
But Mr. Justice, how do you propose to identify the hand cream's owner?
I'm glad you asked, Your Honor. The defense requests a fingerprint analysis on the piece of evidence. It might tell us who it belongs to.
Interesting. So you expect to find the yokai's prints there? Very well. I hereby call a short recess while I wait for the fingerprint results.
No need for that, your boldness. We have the prints of everyone at the manor that day.
Oh god.
You call Prosecutor Blackwell?
Could anyone be more whipped?
Hey, yo. I would say gumshoe.
Fulbright. Fulbright. Analyze this for prints. You have 3 minutes.
Your wish is my command!
Very well then. I guess we'll just wait right here.
It would seem the fingerprint analysis is complete.
What do the results show?
What in the world?
They're Florent Labelle's prints, aren't they? Oh,
This is absurd.
Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not gonna like this, am I? And it's gonna be about the goddamn hand cream.
Don't tell me that Tenmataro's prints?
Fingerprint analysis has revealed that the prints belong to
Oh god.
Phineas Filch.
Objection!
Done.
Wait! What? What?
Then Mr. LaBelle wasn't the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber.
Objection!
Why, you tricksy little Tanooki. Explain yourself now!
Sure, them prints are mine. I mean, I did pilfer that hand cream from Mr. LaBelle after all.
So, you're the one who entered the Forbidden Chamber?
So what if I did? Got a problem with it? Yipes.
You fool of a Tanooki!
You fool of a took.
I think that's what they were going for.
Order! Order! Mr. Justice, care to explain what this could mean?
Excellent question. The fact that Mr. Filch was in the Forbidden Chamber... Oh, wait a second. Does this mean that the Tenmataro holding the staff was Phineas Filch?
Yipes! Another cat out of the bag.
Mr. Filch is Tenmataro?
It says
He's on a box.
Accomplice. Oh, is he?
He's on a box with an orange logo on it,
Aw.
which
Don't-
is incredibly a Metal Gear reference.
Probably. I don't understand. Does this mean Mr. Filch is the real killer?
The witness will explain himself this instant.
The music.
Begging your pardon, your honorship, but I was just doing what the alderman told me. He wanted me to be Tenmataro in the village exorcism ritual.
Oh. You mean that event... Damn it. You mean that event at Nine Tails Vale? So that was you inside the Tenmataro costume?
Yep. And after the event, I went to watch that pro wrestling program. But it bored me to tears on account of the wrestlers being complete jobbers.
I love the use of jobbers, that's awesome. So, you didn't actually watch the entire wrestling match?
That's when I looked at the Tenmataro costume and got a great idea. Nobody can tell it's me while I'm wearing it. And cause of them superstitions, no matter what I do, the villagers won't say a word.
In other words, you use the superstitions to effectively render yourself invisible.
Why did you want to enter the Forbidden Chamber in the first place?
Cause of the treasure there. Thought it was my big chance to sneak on in and nab it.
Treasure?
Only that it's the greatest get rich quick chance in the universe. Grandpappy told me all about it. Said there's an amazing treasure in there.
You went in there not knowing his grandfather had already pilfered it?
Guess that one tale that didn't get passed down from the grandpappy to grandson.
Sorry, Your Honor, I have a frog in my throat. Wait,
He's dying.
how exactly did you get into the Forbidden Chamber? There was a meeting in the Fox Chamber that day. Plus, the mayor swallowed the only key that could open the Forbidden Chamber's door. You couldn't have possibly gotten in.
I could through the air vent in the foyer. The vents left of the alderman's picture. I went on in and made a nice little hole. Used that to get into the air duct that leads to the Forbidden Chamber, I did.
You what? But how is that even possible? Wait a sec.
Wait a sec.
Was that my line?
Remember that air vent in the Forbidden Chamber? So Mr. Filch found a way to get into that air duct. And that's how we got from the foyer vent to the Forbidden Chamber vent.
So Tenmataro is nothing more than a cat burglar, or rather, a Tanooki burglar. And we're back to being without anyone to charge for the alderman's murder.
Looks like our so-called yokai is nothing more than one big troublemaker.
Tell me, Mr. Filch, what did you do after fleeing to the foyer?
I got out of that costume right quick. Would have just caused trouble at that point.
And where is that costume now?
Heck if I know. And it ain't my fault if you never find it.
The police searched every nook and cranny. No yokai costume was left in that manor.
What if it was tossed outside the manor? Oh! No way! But maybe, just maybe.
The defense seems to have hit upon an idea. Well, go on, Mr. Justice.
Okay, here's what I think. Mr. Filch, did you get rid of that costume here?
Do you remember something that might have been mentioned earlier this stream? Theory-wise?
Is it a dust?
No.
How would it go flying in the air?
Yeah,
Where
because
would
they
people see it
Oh.
flying?
Take that! Did you toss it out of the window? Because that would certainly explain why it didn't turn up out inside the manor.
You think I tossed it out the window? That costume cost me a pretty penny.
I forgot that the manor was higher up. I was expecting the murder scene. Yeah, I got confused.
So why would I go do something like that?
I can think of a few reasons.
Any bright ideas, Apollo?
Well, assuming the costume really was tossed out from the window, then the next question would be, what happened to it after that? And, if I'm right, I might just have the thing to prove what happened to the costume. Phineas Filch, I have just the evidence for you.
You do?
This evidence proves you got rid of your costume, rid of your Tenmataro costume through the window. Back to the paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Take that!
That's Tenmataro flying through the sky?
And just how does that prove Mr. Filch threw his costume out of the window?
It's quite simple. That's not Tenmataro in the photo. It's the costume Mr. Filch threw out.
Aw, that's crazy talk. You ain't serious, are ya?
There's a steep cliff right outside the foyer window, meaning the manor is pretty high up. The costume flew through the air after it was tossed out. That's when the photo was taken. In other words, the photo of Tenmataro really was a flight of fancy.
What?
Yikes!
His little box. Oh my. So there really never was a yokai.
Oh, I can't keep any of them cats bagged. Can I still file a claim for the lost costume?
This more than proves the defense's position. Jinxie Temba had nothing to do with staging the yokai sighting.
Care to raise any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell?
None whatsoever. I'll deal with that tricksy Tanooki after I've dealt with this case.
We did it!
Good going. Now all we have to do is make Florent LaBelle take the stand.
Sheathing the sword a bit early, are we not?
Huh?
Nothing has been proven beyond a doubt. Take this tricksy little Tanooki, for instance. How do you suppose he was able to exit the Forbidden Chamber?
Probably the same way he got in, through the chamber's air vent.
And what of the feathers and tracks at the scene of the crime? They would suggest that the Tanooki exited through the chamber door, not the air vent.
Objection! But the Forbidden Chamber doesn't open from the inside. So what you're saying makes no sense. Right?
Someone on the outside opened the door for you. Isn't that right?
Yep, that's right, Mr. Blackjack. The door suddenly sprung right open.
Hold it! Sprung right open? Who was on the other side?
Didn't get a good look on account of the sudden glare.
Like how the reflection from my head blinds fellow moviegoers emerging from the dark.
That's when I snatched that staff and made my daring escape. And then that little maid gal spotted me as I hightailed it down the hall.
That means this Forbidden Chamber wasn't opened until after the crime was discovered.
Okay. But wait. We still don't know who opened it. Maybe there really was a third person in the Fox Chamber.
Well, you little Tanooki. When the Forbidden Chamber opened, did you see the accused passed out there?
Nope. Only one there was the alderman, and he was dead as a doornail.
If the accused wasn't there, what do you suppose he was up to?
Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going.
Ah, don't tell me.
Plainly, the only one who could have opened the Forbidden Chamber door was the accused, Damien Tenma.
Ugh!
Wait a second. There had to be somebody else besides Mayor Tenma there.
Really? And who might that be?
Oh well, there would be.
It seems our feisty little lass has forgotten the most important thing. Evidence.
I didn't forget. I was just testing your attention to details.
Miss Sykes, you can't prove your point without proof of some sort. It's a proven fact.
Now throw the hammer out.
Sorry. Guess I put my foot in my mouth again.
No, Athena. We're definitely onto something here.
We are?
Think about it. If Filch was stuck inside the Forbidden Chamber, one of the alibis we heard would no longer hold any water. The defense would like to call a new witness to the stand, someone who knew Mr. Filch was stuck in the Forbidden Chamber, and by virtue of knowing this, has an alibi that no longer adds up.
Ugh, not that insufferable.
Very well. The court will hear what Mr. Justice has to say. Whose alibi no longer adds up?
Take that!
Right.
Why, that's the defendant's aide, Florent LaBelle. Didn't he claim to be in the foyer at the time of the crime?
True, but in this alibi, he also claimed Mr. Filch was in the foyer too. However, as we all know, Mr. Filch was not there when with Mr. LaBelle at that time. In short, Mr. LaBelle's alibi has disappeared! Florent LaBelle's alibi was one big lie. Isn't that right, Mr. Filch?
I reckon there ain't no keeping that cat in the bag here neither. It was all Mr. LaBelle's idea. He told me to button up his lip about me breaking into the Forbidden Chamber. And in return, he said we'd vouch for each other's alibi.
No.
Shame on you, Mr. Filch. Perjury is a serious crime, you know?
Damn it. Ah, shucks. Mercy, your honorship, mercy. Ah!
I also assert that the person who opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch was none other than Florent LaBelle. After all, his alibi is just proven to be a complete fabrication.
I see. We will take a 20-minute recess,
He made it up.
after which time we will see what Mr. LaBelle has to say for himself.
Yes. Yes. It was written by one of his lawyers. We're finally gonna drag that slippery snake onto the stand. And no one's gonna get that gag.
Yes, they will.
In the meantime, the prosecution will question Mr. LaBelle about his new allegations.
Okay, LaBelle ready. Oh shit.
April 19, 10:25 a.m.
Oh, Athena,
Court, defendant lobby number 3.
Athena, help me with my stuff.
Papers falling off here and there.
We did it, Apollo. We finally dragged Mr. LaBelle into court.
Yeah.
Hey, why the long face?
I can't help but feel I'm missing something important. Plus, Prosecutor Blackwell's bound to mount a counterattack.
You really are a worrywart, aren't you? I'll be fine. That mystery figure opened the Forbidden Chamber for Mr. Filch. It had to have been Florent LaBelle.
I know,
I know.
but that's not what's bugging me. I wish I could put my finger on it, though.
At any rate, the big showdown with Mr. LaBelle is up next, so chin up, Apollo.